Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Ninja Knight. Make sure you like the video, make sure you share the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you. So I have an article here from Bounding Into Comics, and they're saying that the rumour at the moment is Green Lantern on HBO Max to introduce female lead of colour. Interesting stuff because the Green Lantern has heavily featured male leads, but I think with the people that are involved with this show, I'm probably going to be a little bit more happier with this news than most will be, and I will explain why as this video goes on. HBO Max might make some changes to the Green Lantern universe by adding a new character. The Direct reports new information suggesting the series will be introducing a brand new character to the Green Lantern mythos. That is fine in my opinion, because if you are including this brand new character, it means then you're not going to attempt to destroy the characters of, say, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and other prominent Green Lanterns, given the fact that Greg Berlanti and Marc Guggenheim are now involved with this series. These guys are two absolute frauds. They are two people that have been large parts of the tanking CW ratings that have happened with The Flash, with Arrow, with Legends of Tomorrow, with Batwoman. These guys are a poisoned chalice in my opinion, and I am absolutely baffled that HBO Max has now decided to work with these guys. Clearly they've seen the early ratings for those shows, but they haven't seen the woke agenda, the absolute SJW nonsense that's been happening over there. And the fact that this company have now welcomed two of these individuals into this company certainly makes me raise serious eyebrows. Now we do know that J.J. Abrams has signed a deal with this company, so it seems like he's getting more of his cronies, more of his stooges to come across now, and they're going to cause absolute mayhem in the DC universe, and particularly in the Green Lantern's world, which is very disappointing. As for a new character is fine, because you can't hide behind a character like Hal Jordan or John Stewart and totally destroying them and hoping that their name will carry on alone. If this character is unlikable, like certain other characters in, say, Westworld that got really bad, like the likes of Dolores, if you're talking about Mikey Burnham down from the Star Trek series, you're talking about characters that have now been elevated to these positions and have been woefully written and in cases woefully acted. You have seen the rise of Iris West to being pretty much the lead character in the Flash TV show, which is absolute nonsense given it's about the Flash, aka Barry Allen. But there is a reason why they are elevating these people, and I feel most sorry for the actresses and the actors that have been pushed into these roles and that are focusing on tokenizing these characters and then shoving this absolute woke agenda down the throats of the viewers. It's a real pity for some of these people that are involved. Now, I will say some of those people, because some of these people do come out and talk absolute nonsense and come across really unlikable and very pontificating, particularly if the first season is successful and then second season comes out and bang, they're talking absolute nonsense. And I'm looking at the likes of Tessa Thompson, who was one of those individuals that does that. I'm talking about Evan Rachel Wood, two individuals involved with Westworld that come out and start spouting nonsense. Very big issues. The site sources say the character will be a lead and a black woman. They also said the character's name is Bree Jarta, which might not be her real name. Again, I've no problem with them inventing a new character. We've also seen a new black female Green Lantern that is appearing in the new DC comic slate. Is that going to be the same character? I suppose we'll wait and see. But it's certainly interesting that they're introducing that character in the comic books, and now this is going to be the lead of this show. Like I said, there are many problems that are tying itself to this show already, and I am going to discuss them as this moves on. The Direct speculates it's actually a code name, and it sounds like an anagram to the sky is a huge tease. Bree, if that is her name, will be like Spock and Peter Quill, half alien and half human. Her dad is going to be from Earth and her mother from space. That's an interesting concept, I have to say. I think that that is a good idea. It lends itself to a myriad and certainly many stories that they could use from that. I think that that is a good idea, and it gives us a different idea that this character could have a conflicting culture between the Earth-bound culture and the alien culture. But you do know that they're going to focus on a certain three-letter organization, I'd say, with this individual, and that's going to become a problem, particularly if they get past season 1. Bree grows up on another planet, home to an advanced civilization. It's added she is committed and takes being a Lantern seriously. A hard worker, she wants to uphold the values that the Green Lantern Corps stands for. Great, so she's probably going to come to Earth then and have a lot of CW moments of sitting around coffee tables and have people acting the cook and she having to tell them how it's going on and what's to be done, and these characters will simp for her then, and then she will then lead some sort of movement in season 2. This is how the CW do these things, seriously. Maybe not season 2, even season 3 they will crack on with it. The commitment may get challenged by her partner. Direct sources claim Bree is assigned to Guy Gardner, who has a vastly different personality, so the two are expected to have some friction. Gardner can be combative and has an attitude. The show would probably use him as a representation of toxic masculinity. Yeah, I fully agree with that statement there, because Guy Gardner is a character that is a complete and utter hilarious individual. He certainly likes to be making jokes. He certainly likes to make comments. He's one of my favourite Green Lanterns because I think he's absolutely hilarious. Now, what's to be noted there is he's generally represented as being a red-haired white male. We will see if they'll cast him that way in this show. I certainly think one thing, you will eventually see this guy being treated like an absolute cuck by this lead character, because Berlanti and Marc Guggenheim can't keep their hands off doing stuff like that. They did it in Arrow, they did it in The Flash, they did it to Superman. Do you think that this is going to be any different? Not a chance. And the fact that they're going to put such a masculine character with this character is certainly ringing alarm bells. Again, Bree is meant to be a whole new character, or so Direct was told. They mention she doesn't appear to be based on or have anything to do with a character named Sojourner Mullein. So this seems to be the new Green Lantern that they have in these comic books that are going to be coming along. The design is just awful, but when you look at some of the stuff that DC has been doing recently, it's like Marvel went, here's the new Warriors, and they went, hang on Marvel, hold their beer, and they handed the beer and said, we're going to go nosediving ourselves off the face of the earth, because that company is going to go away within a year, in my opinion, with the slate that they have. Sojourner Joe Mullein was introduced this year in the 12-issue Max series Far Sector, a female lantern of colour like Bree is supposed to be, and raised in New York to a low-income family. She polices a place called the City Enduring. Sojourner might be getting safer down the line as they introduce more lanterns. The show will focus on the more obscure members of the Corps, and it's suspected more time will be spent in space. Fantastic. Green Lantern does not have a set premiere date on HBO Max. It's an early development and headed up by Seth Grahame-Smith's Lego Batman and Marc Guggenheim Arrow. No character has been cast as of yet. Greg Berlanti's also in there as well too, so that is a very big problem in my opinion when you have those guys together. Now this allegedly is going to be the cast of characters that are going to be used in it. So when we look at this character here, this is Alan Scott, and he is and has been portrayed as being a gay character. So again, it's true Marc Guggenheim and Berlanti stuff. They've done the same with Doom Patrol as well too. They've introduced a character there that fits that narrative. They did it as well on Arrow. They had Mr. Terrific. They've done it on Supergirl as well too. They've done it with Batwoman. These guys seem to have a very limited shtick, and this seems to be it. Now again, I love Alan Scott as a Green Lantern, but these guys will overdo it. They will make a drama out of Alan Scott, and they will centre his whole character, in my opinion, around the fact that of his orientation, rather than being a great character, the great character that he is. They will centre his whole problem about his orientation. I'm going to make a prediction right now. I think that they will have this character be in and around the civil rights movements, and they're going to use it as a euphemism of him being beat up by bullies that are anti you know what, and then he's going to receive a ring and he's going to become this defender and be able to beat them, maybe have some sort of story about elevating himself and learning them from there, because allegedly this is supposed to sell itself in multiple different time periods. The character on the right that you're seeing here is Guy Gardner. Very concerned about what's going to happen to this guy, because again, he has the potential to be a very funny Green Lantern. I think if you had a good character, a good actor that played him that has red hair, that could be excellent. or if you even had someone that dyed their hair red. I know for a number of years a lot of people wanted to see Sean William Scott as Guy Gardner. I don't know about that now. I'm not sure if I'd want to see that. I would like to see maybe someone like Cameron Monaghan. I think he could tackle this quite well. He was the Joker, or a version of Joker, in Gotham. He was also Cal Kestis in the Star Wars, and I feel that he could be a good Guy Gardner. But again, it depends on the story, and I wouldn't like to see a good actor like that be totally made into an absolute beta. The other option that they could deal with this is they could radically change Guy Gardner, which wouldn't be a surprise because Hollywood doesn't seem to want to cast people that are white with red hair anymore. You have to look at Ariel, you have to look at Wally West, Iris West, and the myriad of other different characters that have been radically altered into something that they're not. We see Simon Baz here as well too. Jessica Cruz, whom I think that this show probably could have focused around, as along with Baz. I think that that would have been a good dynamic. And then we have Sinestro. So we also have a rumoured casting for him, and that is Michael K. Williams, who also played Chalky White in the Boardwalk Empire. Now, Sinestro was previously played by Marc Strong, and Sinestro generally does have more so Caucasian features than he does any other features. So that could be another radical depiction, depending on what they do. If they CGI'd or used very heavy makeup on that actor, we will wait and see. I am not going to cast any opinions on what I think about this character, Sinestro, that is allegedly in this, until I see what he looks like. So that's the news for today on Green Lantern. This is a series that I absolutely love. It's a character that I absolutely love. Now, I'm going to say that I'm very happy they're not using Hal Jordan and they're not using John Stewart, so that they could destroy those characters, because in the hands of Berlanti and Guggenheim, I feel that that's what they would do. The other side of it is that Hal Jordan is a staunch Republican and John Stewart is a former military man. So that is another reason why I think that those two guys are probably steering away from those two characters. What they want to do now at the moment, I think, with Green Lantern is give that recognition to somebody else, so that when eventually a movie may be made, or if this is going to connect to other universes, they can use this built-in version of it and say people will think that that is the first Green Lantern to ever appear, because we've committed that Hal Jordan mockery that Ryan Reynolds made a number of years ago into very far obscure territory in the minds. I'm interested to see what they do with this show. I will not say that I'm not, because Green Lantern is a comic that I'm a massive fan of. It's a character I'm a huge fan of, but I do feel with these people that are involved, particularly Greg Berlanti and Marc Guggenheim, they have shown to be absolute frauds in the past. They have tanked ratings on all of the shows, and now they have failed forward onto HBO Max, and that for me certainly rings alarm bells. How can you fail at so many shows and cause absolute division in the fandoms with ratings that have seen half the audience easily in the last couple of years, and you decide then to hire them for this important character? It's absolutely baffling. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like, share and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Good luck.